Hey guys, we are reacting to Studson Studios. You probably know the guy. Reacting to making a Toy Story mech.
Farewell, my friends. I go on to a better place.
I love this.
Today, I'm going to channel my inner Sid to create.
I really love this video. It's a great video, man. Yeah. Starting to. I don't know. It's like yes.
My bad.
This
You looking jacked.
customized Toy Story and Gundam crossover. I think Sid is unfairly villainized in Toy Story.
Matt's cosplay is great though.
When he rips apart his toys to create new toys, he's just creatively
You know what?
expressing himself via kid
I have to agree.
And that's the kind of
I
creative
said
expression that
they
should be
should make
nurtured
a
as
villain book about Sid, and then Sonny acted like Sid is worse than Maleficent, Captain Hook, or Queen Arts. Like these are actual murderers, and we just have a. Murders. No, yes, I know the toys are alive, But they don't die. They don't know this, you know.
Bro, he exploded.
So like Sid,
us
let's
an
first decapitate
army
this toy.
soldier of
Maleficent killed the.
Let's first decapitate this toy.
Maleficent killed the tree people in violent cold blood. I mean, I love the this Queen of scene. Hearts literally cut someone's head off because he couldn't
Boy.
jump in the right time. Huh? He wants to kill a child.
We'll start by decapitating this toy.
I don't know. But
So after you
it's your
decapitate all of
opinion.
them-
You can believe who you want to believe. I, personally don't believe. It's cat. I still want to see a film book about him. It's not like I. But if I had to pick a Pixar one, I think Syndrome would be better. Syndrome does have more reasons for someone else. Okay, I'll have some lunch. Okay, please move away from the couch. It's really weird when going to grab some sweeties and it's just weird.
Remember that you only
Let's
need one, so
decapitate
set
the
the rest
toy.
aside, and then use your imagination to envision what you're creating.
Okay, he gets two.
Like a lot of kids in the US, my first exposure to
Bro.
Gundam was
Oh, I
when
got two
Konami
as well.
aired Gundam Wing in
Okay.
2000. As a dumb kid, all it took
Look.
to get me amped was for a mech to show up on screen.
Look, guys,
But
you
looking back
separated the
now,
piece.
if the slow politics and angsty teenage boys aren't your thing, then you should still watch it, otherwise
I'll kill you.
Since then, I haven't really watched much more Gundam, but I'm still a fan of the
Look.
model kits and kit.
He made a
He
Dark Vader. Banjo. Banjo. Siri. Whoever those two are.
Bashing them into something else.
Wait, is it Darth
Your
Vader,
favorites?
Anakin?
This is particular.
Joe Back Horseman. Ultron, I think that's. Shrek and Donkey.
Oh, don't
He
get!
never did
mobile
a
suit
tutorial
called
of how to
Sagak
Shrek.
because I love the
Listen to me,
claws on each of its arms. And if you've seen Toy
I always
Story,
wanted
you
to
know
do
that the
something like
aliens
this with
worship.
Bruce.
So yep, that's
But
the
I don't think I ever would have the skill to do what this guy does.
concept. Why desire the claw when you can become the claw?
I'm not trying to be.
Let's start with prepping the model for painting. I skipped filming the part where I clip out all the pieces and sand them because it's super boring, so I'm just going to start with taping up all the parts I don't want to actually paint. That means masking out all the joints and the connector pieces that would be hard to put together if they were covered in a thick layer of paint.
This guy doesn't understand how to make fun.
Next, I'm going to clean up some of the major gaps between pieces on the model, like this one on the pelvis. I start by putting a fine layer of this thin modeling cement between the two pieces, which actually melts the plastic and gets the two sides to fuse together. With the bead of plastic forced up between the two pieces, I use a couple sanding sticks until it's pretty smooth, but I'm not really aiming for perfection here. That's good enough. Time to paint.
Cool dinosaurs, bro. I miss Open Beach.
Let's go outside and get a
Unrelated, but we watched this video a lot, Open, and I miss Open, you know? Yeah.
tiny amount of vitamin D.
I miss it as well.
I'm repainting the alien head too because
So
the
it's just
current
like
paint
fake
job
one,
is
it was all
pretty
fake on
booty
this.
and I want to bring it up to
Hey, what
par
the-
with the rest of the kit.
The cloud.
Painting the pieces in white, gray, and pink primer,
Oh,
and
stop,
basically
stop.
just choosing whichever shade is closest to the final shade I'm going to put on it. If the final color is light, I'll use white primer. If it's dark, I'll use gray, and for the purple pieces, I'm using pink.
Produces at once. What's all
After priming, I'm using an airbrush for the rest
That
of the
is true,
painting.
though.
I always start and end each session with this airbrush cleaner to help prevent any clogs while I'm painting. With everything already primed in lighter shades, I'll be using this rubber black paint to begin pre-shading the pieces. Using a mixture of 1 part paint to 1 part acrylic thinner, I dilute it till it's about the consistency of milk. And then just do a few test strokes before I commit to ruining the model permanently.
Now it's like, so I'm the sus one.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier,
really
what
good
I'm
minutes.
doing is pre-shading.
Okay,
so
wait,
basically
guys.
just looking for parts of the model that would normally have shadows
Hey,
if this was a gigantic robot, which will help add some contrast
No,
on the
wait,
edges and between panel lines when this is all painted up with a single color. At this stage, it always looks like I've made a horrible mistake, but after covering everything in a few layers of paint, it'll actually start to look like some shading. For example, as I start to lay down some of this blue, you can still kind of see the dark shading areas that are left behind underneath. It's a pretty subtle effect, but I think it makes a big difference. I also added some dark blue.
Can you pause it?
350 years. Ah!
You guys know the
Do you
worst.
know where Sunny is?
Please.
Josh.
Please, Sonny. Please.
I'll just.
Always please say hi to our
oh
fans.
my god, hi!
What's that? Brother, what's that? What's that? Brother, what's that?
Speaking of Michael Chingo, I never said that before, but I didn't actually buy it. But this time, actually gonna buy it.
I'm going to get a
on the
haircut
midline
again,
for
please.
some added
I need to
contrast.
say one thing, I may be...
Here's a little forbidden 2-for-1 airbrush technique. I like to tell myself I'm trying to preserve my
Wait.
paint when I do this, but I'm actually just lazy. Here's another little shading technique. I took some masking tape here and just taped off the top part of the pelvis, and then I hit just that top portion with a lighter shade of blue. The effect I'm going for is it looks like the sun is hitting just the top part of this piece a little harder than the rest of it. Oh, speaking of masking, there are some places where you really can't use tape because the curvature of the model is weird, so for that, I'm using some blue poster tack to mask around the eyes here. Since the eyes are already white, there's no sense in spraying green over the entire alien head. The result is looking pretty good, and you can see the comparison here between the original and the new paint job. But there's still a little bit of eye cleanup I want to do. I want to add a little bit of gloss white paint to make them really shine. I'll come back and paint the pupils in later, but for now, here's a satisfying masking
Whoa,
tape.
whoa. Hey guys, from our Lego idea set, we've been thinking of doing that with Amazon, so there's way more stuff.
Actually, I kind of like this soulless look. With everything all painted up, I got a little bit overzealous and decided to assemble it before actually top coating the model.
Wait, wait.
This was a mistake.
Anyway, sit back.
Doesn't.
Sit back. Just
No, I understand.
Our lives are in your hands and you have butterfingers?
Here it is, all snapped
I just hope he doesn't get the alien sources out of it.
up.
Wait.
But let me show you why you should
wouldn't this
seal your
video be
models
done
before you
by
get your
now?
dang hands all over them.
Oh, is the specimen
Oh, we have
ready
two
for
Wayne the White
cleaning?
references. Wayne Knight. Wayne Knight is the person who played it,
He's
Dennis
for display only.
Now that
him
that's
as
cleaned
well.
up, it's time to seal it so this doesn't happen again.
Oh,
I'm
well,
using... Wait, roll that back.
You know what he wants.
Yep, I'm using
That
Pledge
alcohol.
floor varnish with 2
Welcome.
times more shine to seal the model. That goes right in the airbrush, and I spray it on with several thin coats. This stuff smells delicious, but please wear a mask and only think about smelling it. I'm really dreading this next part, but it's time to
which
paint on
is
the
good,
pupils.
drippy,
I
and
start-
well,
yeah, true drip.
Nah, that's not true, dude, my guy.
no.
with a pencil and just lightly draw where the pupils are going to go before I commit to it with black paint. If you're nervous or you have an unsteady hand like me, just try tiny dabs until you're finally at the size you're looking for.
Okay, okay, shh. Let's talk about
Not too bad. Look at that nice
what 1,000 yard star. I should say 3,000 yard star.
gleam hidden off that gloss paint. There we go. All that varnish meant for floors is now applied. Next, I want to build a claw machine diorama. I bet I could make a pretty good rocket using recycled... Oh, it's recycle day.
Run, boy, run!
Perfect. These 2 things I planted here will work great.
This guy is a really big guy.
I think with...
Oh yeah, shout out to this guy, not just because he made this, but he's helping the environment by taking trash. Basically, ever heard the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure? Now, usually the saying doesn't actually matter who's collecting trash.
Didn't
But this
he
guy
say
really
that
does
in
use it.
Captain Underpants?
They probably
With
did.
this water bottle, I can cut off the top to make the cone of the rocket, and then this other one can be the glass tube that
Yeah,
you
well,
see the
that's a
claw
saying.
going
That's
through.
been way before.
Using a hobby knife, I'm separating the cone from the bottle. And by complete luck, that's a perfect fit. I want the alien to look like he's bursting from the claw machine, so I'm taking my knife and trying to cut out a jagged glass.
We already.
Okay.
Jagged glass
7. Okay, we've got a few minutes left.
Okay.
pattern, as if he shattered it as he punched through. This can be kind of dangerous, so be careful and don't be a dum-dum like me and try to creep your fingers in underneath where the knife is plunging through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be painful.
I'll get you cut.
Kinda
Yeah,
looks
I've been
like
cut by
broken glass,
plastic, it
but I think we can
hurts.
add a
Yeah,
few more
how about-
I
details here.
mean, I'll show you what actually being cut looks like. James cut his finger with one of those
We've got
eyebrow cutter, which
I
we do look good. You know,
I
we do
did
look good
get
to
I
receive.
did get cut by plastic once. It was like a broken bottle like that.
Good.
I accidentally touched it and because I didn't see it and I was like,
Bruh.
ah! That's even worse.
With my
than
knife,
stepping
I'm
in the
engraving in a
Legos, by the
few
way.
more lines for a
Yeah.
shattered glass effect.
I do kind of think it's a little over extremely.
And then with this plastic panel, or plow plate, I'm cutting a few support beams that'll attach to the side of the claw machine. You don't need to fully cut through this material, just a quick scoring with the blade and it snaps apart. These beams would be real naked without rivets, so I'm using some glue to act as a faux metal rivet after it solidifies.
Dang it.
This is the first time I've done this before, so I hope it works. This was a lot quicker than actually trying to attach individual rivets, which is what I'm doing here. I probably could have tried the same glue technique here, but instead I'm using a sharp object to puncture a series of holes around the rim here, and then taking sequin pins and gluing them into place. Sequin pins can be found at pretty much any fabric store, but they make great rivets and nails for scale miniatures like this. Next, I'm using more plow plate to trim out the 4 fins for the base of the rocket. Using this template I freehanded here, I took a pencil and traced out the remaining 3 fins. All it takes is a gentle caress of the blade, and the fins should just snap out pretty easily.
Sorry.
Next, I'm using super glue to attach the fins to the side of the rocket. If there's one thing I wish
Gorilla Glue, since ever since we had sponsors by GXK, should do one.
You know, I'm just saying, why is it called Gorilla Glue? Because it's strong. It's a gorilla.
If you put it on your face, it'll just get ripped off like well, gorilla.
I had for this part, it would be
That's
super
amazing.
glue
She's like,
accelerant. Otherwise, get ready to
It's
hold
strong
the piece
as a
steady for
gorilla,
2
so
minutes while the
kill
glue
him,
sets. For all 4 fins.
Come here. I'll tell you. First
Ellie, we're going 9 minutes later.
With the fins on, it was time to start
Stop it!
assembling it.
You want to say
Since this
something?
plastic is very thin and susceptible to heat damage, I decided to use hot glue. This is typically regarded as a bad idea, but I think I got lucky this time. The rocket still needs a cone on the top, and I had this plastic left over from a case of apples that I thought I could fashion into some sort of cone. I thought I had a really brilliant idea, and I decided to see if I could warp this plastic around this vortex using a hair dryer. Here are my excellent results.
Okay, pretty good. Pretty great. The best.
New plan. I'm going to take another one of these apple domes, and I'm just going to cut down to the center point, and then I can fold it over, sort of roll it into a cone.
I can't even see it.
Again, I used some super glue to seal it up, making sure to get a lot of it on my fingers, and then I held it again in place for 2 minutes. With the rocket cone done, now it's time to actually make the claw. Since I create a lot of these pieces from just things I happen to have lying around, I don't expect this tutorial to be completely replicable. In general, I'm just trying to communicate the idea of making something new from the recycled things you have. In this particular instance, I used a few random Gundam pieces I had lying around, plus this little keychain. The important thing isn't that it's perfect, but that I didn't have to spend extra money to make it. And after hitting it with some chrome spray paint, it's looking pretty not bad. The glass on the claw machine was looking very dull, so I'm using this high gloss coating to add some shine. And for the body of the rocket, I'm using a Tamiya Oxide Red primer, followed by a much more vibrant Italian sports car red. And in this shot, you can see I left the top of the rocket open so the paint could fall through and render all that masking I did of the clear glass useless. After painting, I thought the whole thing looked a little bit too one-note, so I'm highlighting the top areas of certain sections in pink. And it was at this point where I was pretty sure this video was going to get flagged for mature audiences. Okay, I definitely need to fix that, but for now let's keep going. Here I'm taking the masking tape and the paper that I put on to protect the glass. You can see it worked out alright, but there is some red paint that's snuck in through the top hole.
Spider-Man.
Using some super glue, I'm attaching the 2 support
Well, let's talk about who is your favorite Toy Story character.
I think uniqueness.
Okay, Buzz.
Woody. Okay, instead of saying who's your favorite Spider-Man, let's say of these guys. Oh yeah, new thing's been added. We call those years ago.
You know we had one, but we wanted them.
My favorite of all of these is, of course, the original.
Mine's with Detective Spider-Man.
Wait, the original and oh, I should pick a full screen to explain this one. The original and this one. I love him. He really is.
Can I
cool.
show who's
He's got
my
toes.
Yeah, this is my
he's
child.
got
This is
toes.
my little
Ben
child.
Riley's mine.
Grab it.
Benjamin Riley.
Show of hands.
This is my favorite, guys.
He's my favorite.
And Miles as well, because I mean I'm wearing Miles.
I've got Street
I like
Miles and Classic Miles, but
Yeah,
Street
I
Miles
like
is
Miles.
nothing compared to Classic Miles.
I like Miles and I like Ben Riley.
Wait a minute.
So kind of gets confusing.
I hate how Ben
Marvel-
Riley is going
Marvel, Lego, we're gonna have a discussion. His gloves are black. Show me your arms.
Red.
Red. Red.
Also, you know what?
How has this been around for so long?
Wait, I wish Lego did this one thing though. Arm printing. It's like
Do you mean hand printing?
I've been thinking about it. In the
Yeah,
Jurassic Park series, one of the characters wear fingerless gloves, but his hands are. I think I remember his hands were peach or just plain brown. And Lego needs to update to us. And I guess it would have to add fingers and how would that look. So I get it, but I really do
I
believe
want to do
it's
something at the
it's
camera.
it's tired. I'm tired of it. You know, I want fingerprinting.
Red. This is red, Marvel.
Columns I made
the moment's
earlier,
passed.
and you can see the rivets I made using glue.
Yeah, the
Turned
moment's
out
passed.
alright. Okay, that rocket shape though.
Colonel, you better take a look at this radar. What is it, son? I don't know, sir. But it looks like a giant...
I'm really not digging that ridge between.
You know, I've always.
Reference to Austin Powers.
Hey guys, wait. You ready? We'll go first one. You know, guys, this looks like a giant.
Go line.
Between where I attached
Yeah, I don't know
the
what
head
happened.
of the rocket to the shaft. So I'm using a strip of claw plate here to sort of give it a more streamlined design. Maybe.
Finish, man!
I'm
What
base
the?
coating the whole thing in
Wait,
yellow,
stop.
and then I'm using white
Did you
paint
just
to
rip it
highlight
with your
the
phone?
I didn't too.
And lastly, I'm
I was
attaching
told it's a positive.
one
I'm sorry,
side
too.
of the
You
nose
say
cone.
what the? If you did, James would have to
For this,
you
just
into
take the
I can
hottest
do
Rip your
it.
mouth from your body.
and just squeeze it
Guys, I can
liberally
do it.
inside
Okay,
the
no,
nose.
stop it, stop it, it's gonna hurt you,
That
you
way,
bastard.
when you work your plastic,
No,
you'll
no more,
realize
no more.
that
You
your
can't
plastic
do it. Guys, this is a
wasn't good
reaction.
anyway, and you really want to
Come on,
practice on
friend,
making a second
not the
one.
cons.
And with a few more dabs of super glue,
Okay.
the claw and chain get fed down the rocket, and the nose cone is attached.
They
Ooh,
Okay,
that
I
leaves just
understand.
one more thing,
They
and
look
for that,
pretty
I'm sorry, I'll need my blade one more time.
I don't believe that man's ever been to medical school.
Wait.
And with the transplant complete, this is done.
Wait,
Roll the beauty
wait,
shots.
shh, I know
And
that.
that's it, y'all. Thanks for watching the video.
Wait,
if you enjoyed seeing me ruin this gunpla kit, then I
wait,
suggest
wait.
you lightly caress that subscribe button because I'm going to do it again. And then in
Sorry,
the comments,
don't
let me know
you
what kind of Gundam
Weird.
crossover you'd want to see next. Or if
Wait,
you're
do you
into
hear the
crafting,
song?
leave a
Just count.
comment about some of your favorite buildings from video games and movies you'd want to see realized as a miniature.
My
Until
freaking
next time,
outro
this is
music.
Texas Studio, and it
Yeah,
was
that
great
was
having
our
you here
outro.
today.
We based off his channel because it's such a great song.
I think go first. Such a good show.
Now.
Thanks for watching.
Just right, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching.
You guys
And I
did
wanna do this
amazing. Okay, bye guys.